What's going on, gang? Today we're having a major Black Friday when it comes to not sales, but economic collapse in the stock market. As I was typing, the market was down 469 points, guys. Okay, and this is not something that just happened randomly. It's been happening week after week. The economy and the stock market has been crashing hundreds and hundreds of points in the past few weeks. Now, today we're looking at the stock market being 469 points as I'm typing. And what that means is we're going to have one of the world's biggest wealth theft. Yep, you heard me right. The biggest wealth theft. In the last crash, 2006, fourth quarter, 2007, 2008, the bankers and the big corporations ran off with all the profits. For example, there was bankers that are getting big bonuses, big commissions, top management, CEOs, etc. And these banks went belly up, right? Because they were focused on subprime lending. Um, and what that means is the same thing that's happening today. After the last crash, Congress made some laws to try to regulate bankers. But just recently, these laws were uh, removed to make it more relaxed for bankers to be able to lend out money. I brought it to you on my YouTube channel where your debt to income ratio has been revised so more buyers can qualify for debt. I brought to you guys so many different aspects of the economy why it's very, very sick. Now, in this wealth theft that's going to happen, it's going to be a worldwide situation because the IMF or the central bankers going to take not America's wealth, but Canada, Australia, Italy, Germany, France, Great Britain. I mean, if all these countries that I just mentioned, and many more that I haven't even mentioned, all are in massive debt. They're in a massive economic troubles and turbulence. And most of these countries are at almost 0% interest rate as we're speaking, almost 0%, never heard of in the history of the world, or in America, I should say. So the biggest theft is going to be happening, and it's already happening. Um, Most of you, gang, don't even realize how money is created. Most of you don't even realize how bankers just lend out money through fractional reserve. And once you start doing your due diligence, you start really realizing that this is a Ponzi scheme, and it's only meant to help the really rich. For example, most people don't even realize how banks in the last crash were getting paid PMI insurance from Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, right? They were getting paid from the insurance, and they were still going and foreclosing on people as they didn't even own the note. They didn't even own the promissory note. And there's already been Supreme Court judgment that says that if they separate, and it goes really complex. I don't want to get into it. If they separate the promissory note and the mortgage, what I call DOT, deed of trust, but you have to do your own due diligence. I'm not trying to provide legal advice, but the point I'm trying to make here is that in the last crash, bankers robbed the average person that put the 10% down or whatever money they put down, all the monthly payments they made, all the improvements they made to the house. They also robbed because they were able to claim on their insurance, PMI, and at the same time they were able to get back the collateral and resell it. I mean, it's just uncrazy how the bankers got off, right? Because they're lending out on a mortgage that they didn't even have to have the money, right? So many people think that if you go buy a house that's $1 million or 200,000 or whatever, that the bank actually has to have that money to give you, and that's not even true. So highly recommend doing your due diligence on understanding how the mortgage and the money creation is done. because it'll blow your mind, dude. It blows your mind. So the bankers basically get to own all the properties without even having the money for it. And whenever you are late, they're gonna come get the property, kill your credit, come after you personally. And now in this market, they've lent out so many people on almost 0% interest rates. But the problem is that the asset itself has gone up in value. Because, for example, if I wanted to buy this cup and there's only two buyers, well, guess what? My price is not going to be able to go up. But if I want to buy this cup and there's 1,000 buyers waiting in line to buy this cup, right? Then the value, I can charge more. If I was going to charge $10, I could charge $100, and still people will pay because there's 1,000 of them waiting, right? And that's what has happened with the real estate asset, because banks keep giving away free money or almost free money, and they keep changing the rules and regulation for people to be able to take on more debt. It has allowed the asset to go up in price abnormally, what we call a bubble, what we call manipulation of the asset, because there's dirt cheap money. Everyone can borrow it, even if they don't have any money or proof of income or anything. They can just borrow it, and guess what? It's 0% interest almost. So more people are willing to borrow. If it was 18% interest, would there be thousands of people wanting to borrow money? No. If there was 0% interest, there'll be more. So as interest come down, more people are willing to borrow money and get into debt. As the bankers change their, you know, 10%, 20% to 3.5% to no money down, all these kind of things, there's going to increase the line of people that want to buy this cup or this house or this asset, which makes the sellers raise their prices significantly because there's a big line for it. Okay. Now, does it mean that is a good the house is worth this? No, because the Federal Reserve manipulated the interest rates, which allowed a lot of people to be able to get in line to qualify to buy this home, which really they could not really buy it. And a lot of these people in line are buying houses they normally couldn't buy if the interest rates were 5%, or if the interest rates were 6% or 10% or 15% or 18. They couldn't buy these homes. I know so many people that bought bigger homes than they could really afford. It almost sounds like the same exact trick they pulled last time. Last crash, 2006 fourth quarter, they give a lot of people what's called adjustable mortgage arms. So when they bought, maybe they could only buy a $300,000 home, but with the adjustable mortgage, they said, "Look, man, I can afford to buy a $500 because the payments are so low." So people got into higher level debt, right? Because the payments were so low, not realizing that the payments are adjustable. They're going to change the route, and then eventually they were so expensive that people couldn't afford it because they really couldn't afford to buy the home. Same thing is happening now, but the story is the same, but the chapter is different. The chapter is now they're not adjustable mortgages. What it is the interest rate is so low that people are now buying higher price home that they could normally afford. So let's say I wanted to buy a home. I'm a beginner, I'm starting a family. I could only afford a $200,000 home because interest rates are at 0%, almost 0%. Now I could afford a $400,000 home. Okay, can you see the difference where it's the same exact thing? People in the last crash were buying bigger homes because the interest rate so low was adjustable. Today, people are being forced to buy a higher priced home because A, the asset price has already gone up because there's so much lines. And then two, people are getting fooled and thinking, hey, well, man, I could buy a bigger home because my payments, if it was a 10% or 6%, it would be so much higher versus at 0%. Not really knowing that if you buy a bigger home, well, the electricity is high, the maintenance is high, the cutting the grass is higher, your taxes for the property tax are going to be higher, and you're still going to be responsible for all that. Okay. And also not knowing that, hey, well, the bankers manipulating the way they do, this asset for this price of this home has gone up so much that when it tanks, I'm going to have negative equity, thousands of dollars, maybe even hundreds. Depends what if you bought a $5 million home, then hundreds and maybe in the millions. If you bought a $200,000 home, then thousands, right? You bought a 300,000, thousands of dollars. The houses are going to be who's going to be in negative equity? I would say anyone that bought houses in the last 4 or 5 years are definitely going to be in negative equity. when the market pops, like it's already starting to pop, they're going to be in negative equity like crazy. You're going to see massive short sales. You're going to see massive loan modifications. You're going to see massive foreclosures, because people bought houses that they really shouldn't couldn't afford because interest rates was so low it fooled them. But now the maintenance, the property tax is catching up. Two, the asset of the house went up because there's so much line that wants to buy this home because interest rates is so low. So the price of the house went up dramatically, and now three, deflating is coming down with negative equity, and that's what I call a real estate crisis. That's already here. I mean, a lot of you guys are not believing me, and that's great. I'm happy for you. I'm glad you're a self thinker. Uh, but here's the thing, you're going to read about it in the news in a couple of months, okay? Because it happens first, and then everyone else in the stream media talks about it. So it's already happening. The reason I know is because I have students all over America that are working deals, and I'm seeing these motivated sellers can't sell their home, right? Now, another problem is that there's no affordable real estate homes, okay, for entry level home buyers, which is the majority of American population that buy houses or entry level homes, first time home buyers. Well, there's no affordable homes, dude, because of manipulation by the central markets. I mean, the central banks, the Federal Reserve, they made home prices so darn expensive that people can't afford to buy an entry level home, dude. So someone's the first time home buyer, they're just starting their family, just got out of college, they're already in debt in their student loans, they're already in debt in vehicles. Now they're gonna have to get a house that normally they probably buy a $200,000 home. Now they got to buy that $400,000 home. So instantly they're being pushed into a higher tier home that they really can't afford the monthly payments. And the only reason they can afford it because interest rates are so low, they really can't afford the maintenance because now they have a 5,000 square foot house, a 4,000 square foot house versus a 1,500 square foot house. Now, cutting the grass, the electricity, they're all more expensive. And they're not thinking about that when they're getting to it. The first they're looking at like, oh man, I'm getting such a beautiful home. I'm getting the dream home. Not realizing they really cannot afford this dream home. All right, guys, click the like button. Let me know if you think the crash is here. I'm just really interested in knowing your opinion. Um, no matter if it's different from me, I respect you either way. Um, I'm wrong a lot, but on this one, I'm betting all my money that I am right, and so that shows you that I'm a believer of it. I'm in 2016. I was the only guy out here saying real estate was the worst time to get in real estate. Everyone else laughed at me. In 2016, I was the only guy that says, look, I'm exiting real estate and I'm getting into gold, right? And look what gold's doing today. So the realization that I had is not because my dad taught it to me. My dad is an ice cream man, a literate man. Very much respect for him. He's a hustler. I put him against 10 PhD motherfuckers and he'll blow him away because of his work ethic, because of his sacrifice. So no disrespect to him. But the realization that I got is because I traveled the road myself. I didn't get it from a school. I didn't get it because my daddy put me on it. I got it because I made all these wrong mistakes, right? And I realized it. And the realization is self-made realization through pain and suffering, through creativity, to giving up stuff that has me helped me realize this. And I can tell you this: America's economy is not what they portray to be. We're about to have a global panic. The dollar is going to be dead very, very soon. Is the dollar's going to be dead, or the people of America are going to be in massive, 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 massive trouble from corporations to governments, etc. Because the way the thing sits, everyone is in debt, and if they increase the interest rates, the federal government is going to default on debt, the state's going to default on debt, corporations going to default, the people are going to default. So the debt is so high, and what they're doing is just printing more and more and more and more and more and more money, and that's why gold is going up. That's why gold is going up because of inflation. Okay, uh, gold's always the same price. It's the dollar losing its value because they're printing it up. And I know everything I say sounds really crazy and out there, or whatever. And I respect you for that. And my only reason for doing this is to give you the other side, which you're probably not getting from the regular people, right? The regular media, and have just put a little seed in your mind so you can do your own homework, so you can do your own check finding. Don't take my word for it. I'm just a guy on YouTube. I'm just a refugee to America. I want you to do your own homework. I want you to do your own realizations, okay? And the way to do it is to do your own research. Now, you can research that they manipulated precious metals. You can research that they're printing shitload of money. You can research that the Constitution didn't allow central bankers. That's why we had a revolution, okay? Taxation and central bankers. You can read it. You can read that in the 1930s, they amended the Constitution to let a private bankers cartel, the Federal Reserve, to be the money makers of America. Okay, it wasn't that in the Constitution. You can do these research, right? You can do the research that the Federal Reserve is privately owned. It's never been audited. Please do your research. If you just do your research, don't take my word for it. Never take any person's word for it. Come to your own conclusion. But what I'm saying right now is something that's not cool. People don't like it, but we're about to have 40, 60% sell in a lot of different assets. We're about to have the biggest opportunity to make money. Now, a lot of motherfuckers around here are going to be crying when the shit hits the ceiling, but not me and not for many other people, because in 20 years, you're going to look back. People are going to look back and say, dude, you were living in 2016. You were living in the best time to create wealth and you didn't take fucking action. There's so many places you can create wealth. I mean, there's people that made millions and billions of dollars in the last real estate crash, 2016, right? I'm sorry, 2006, 2007, 2008. There's millions and billions of people that are going to be making a lot of money, have already made a lot of money in Bitcoin. There's millions and billions of people that made a lot of money in social media. There's millions and billions of people like myself that used the internet to make money back in 1996, 1999, 2000, when Yahoo was king and I was using SEO and there wasn't even a term for it. So we live in the best era ever to become your dreams. If you want to be a millionaire, you want to write a book, there's no more publishers, there's no more doorkeepers. You don't have to kiss no one's fucking ass. If you're fucking a shit up situation, it's your own fucking fault, dude. That's it. Because you're watching TV. You're going to the sports game. You're fucking listening to all these fucking TV. You're watching Fox News. You're watching all these dumbass TVs telling you you ain't shit. You listen to your teachers that told you you ain't shit. You're an A or B or C. You're scared to take fucking risk. You want to be your dreams, you got to take a risk. You know, if you live in America, if you're fucking poor, it's your own fucking fault, dude. There's no, I don't know what I just tell it to you. My dad comes here as a refugee. He doesn't even speak the fucking language. He doesn't even have a high school education. Motherfucker owns a business. He has his shit paid off, right? So, man, you can't even use a computer. So in America, if you want to make $1 million, it's not that hard. You want to make $100,000 a year, it's not that hard, man. You don't need a bank or some FICO score or some kind of loan to be your dreams. But it will require courage. It will require creativity. It will require fucking sacrifice. What a lot of motherfuckers don't even know what sacrifice is. They don't know what sacrifice is. A lot of people don't even know what pressure is. When they get on pressure, they fucking fold and they want to throw their hands up and they want to quit. Because they're little bitches, man. Little bitches. Right? Because if you live in America, there's no fucking excuse to fucking not be your dreams. Especially in today when we you can write a book. I wrote a book. I failed English. I almost didn't pass college because I couldn't pass a stupid state English essay. But I wrote a book and I got it on Amazon. First page. In the real estate investing. I can't even write. For a couple of days. On the first page. What did I do? I used creativity. I wrote a book. I went and fed the homeless. Everyone that bought one of my book, I went and fed the homeless. And I shout out that to them. I created my own karma. You didn't hear what I just said. So if you're fucking making excuses because you're not your dreams, your own fucking fault, man. You live in America. You listen to those stupid ass teachers that told you you weren't shit. Or they said, hey man, you're really smart and you got a PhD and now you're fucking broke. Now you're in fucking debt or you have a master's and you got 2 jobs. If you got 2 jobs, it's your own fucking fault. You don't need another job. You need to create your own fucking business. Go into business for yourself. Go walk some dogs. Go cut the grass. If you don't have no fucking idea, go wash cars. Dude, what are you waiting for? Why do you have a second job for? Why not invest in yourself? I mean, all it takes to start a business today is a fucking website. That's it. And marketing. You don't even need to have funds. I started a multi-million dollar moving company with $100 living in my fucking car out of college. Then I made 3 different businesses, had rental. I let it all go. Now here I am today because I want to help you and be a public speaker. I let it all go. So it's not the bank that makes you. It's not the credit that makes you. It's not your fucking FICO score that makes you, man. What makes you is your creativity. What makes you is your ability to fucking sacrifice. But we live in such a pussy ass society where we just want to stick our fucking hand out and be your dreams. Like, can I sign? Where can I sign to be my dream? Where can I sign and get into fucking debt? Where can I sign? I'm ready to sign to have good credit. Like, like your clothes makes you, right? Like if you want to be a fucking football player because you're all matching, your shirt matches your shoes. Now you're gonna be a great football player. No, that's bullshit, man. That's pussy shit. That's that media selling you some shit. It don't matter if your clothes match. It doesn't matter if you have your fucking shoes. If you're fucking hungry enough, you're gonna be a best football player. So we live in a society of bunch of pussies because school made you into a pussy. They said, look, man, if you go out of the line, we're gonna put you in school suspension. We're gonna spank your ass. We're gonna put you in all this bullshit. Well, if you want to be your dreams, you got to be disobedient. You want to be your dreams. You can't do what everyone else says. If you want to be your dreams, you have to unlearn everything they taught you in school, man, in college, because they just taught you to work for some motherfucker. They never taught you to be the man. They want you to work for the man. Listen to what I'm saying. That's why the higher people have education, the less likely they are to have a business. If they have a master's, the odds of them having a business is slim. They have a PhD, it's even slimmer. Now you look around and look at a lot of the greats, and you can see that most of them even dropped out of college. So the point I'm saying is we're living the best time ever because we have social media, we have internet, we have Bitcoin, we have real estate about to crash, we have stocks about to crash, we have so many opportunities here. Businesses are going to go bankrupt. You could buy businesses for pennies on a dollar. You can buy real estate from motivated fucking sellers. A lot of motherfucking you guys are gonna be bitches and gonna sit on the sideline. In 20 years from now, you're gonna wish people would say you were in 2019. You in the era when Bitcoin was beginning. You in the era when the massive crash happened, when stocks went 60% off, and you didn't do nothing. You in the era when real estate sucked, sinked, and you didn't do a damn thing. And you lived in America, and you spoke the fucking language. Oh shit. Oh shit, man. Right? And that's what some of you guys are gonna feel like. I'm sorry to say that. But there's great opportunities about to be here. Not financial advice. We live in a fucking shitty ass society where I gotta say, this is my fucking opinion, not financial advice. Well, motherfucker, if it's coming out of my mouth, it's my opinion. Why do I keep gotta tell it to you like you motherfuckers are dumb? Because the laws are so sissy. If you want to sell water on the streets, a cop will choke you, man. Because they don't want you to be an entrepreneur. They want you to work for the man. The college wants you to work for the man. They don't want you to be the man. I'm sorry to say that. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to unlearn everything you learn. Because the way they taught it to you, risk is a very bad thing. Debt is the good thing. You just sign away. You just please just sign and we'll just wire the money into your account. And you can be your dreams. You want to buy a house? No problem. Sign away. You want to start a business? No problem. Sign away. You want to have that car today? Go ahead, just sign away. The most dumbest shit ever, dude. That's why you see people on social media that are so what called gurus, and they're showing you Lambos, but they don't have a company car that's fucking wrapped because their bitch asses got into fucking debt. I was self realized. That means that I started with no money, and the very first car I got was a wrap car, and the second car I got was a wrap car, and third, and eventually, 10 years later, 14 years later, is when I bought my dream car, right? And all the cars I paid cash. Versus the other guys, they got the Lambos, they got this to show you, but they don't have their company car wrap because they're not into it to win it. They got it. They got a little handout, man. Like they just signed something. They're more about having their shirt match their shoes. They're not about freedom. They're not about telling the bankers to fuck off. They like the bankers. They're the little bankers bitches. They're like, oh, Mr. Banker, can I get some more money? I know you own all my cars and all the banks, everything. You own everything. Well, because if you were self-realized, you would know that you wouldn't be getting a Lambo when you first started the business. You'd be getting the equipment. You'd be getting the equipment, and you'd be reinvesting back to your business. You'd be reinvesting to your business. You'd be reinvesting back to your business so your business can grow. You wouldn't go buy flashy shit. If you're a real entrepreneur, you know what it is to sacrifice. You know what it is to work 7 days a week. You know what it is to sleep in your fucking office. You know what it is to give it everything you got and you don't hold anything back. You know what it is to follow up. You know what it is to never take no for an answer. You know what it is to fail over and over and over. I was talking to a student yesterday. He said, Mike, I made a mistake. I got a deal and I made a mistake and it made me feel embarrassed. And I'm like, man, it's okay to feel embarrassed, dude. But the problem with feeling embarrassed is because we care too much what other fuckers think about us. Because when we get embarrassed, what does that mean? We're thinking too much. And while we're thinking too much, what are we not doing? We ain't taking no action. Because we're feeling embarrassed. Who cares? You know what, my man, my student, I'm sure you're watching. You know what? You should not feel embarrassed, my man. You got up. Sure, you got punched down, but you got into the octagon, bro. You got into the fucking fight. And yeah, you made mistakes and you got knocked out, but that's nothing to be embarrassed about, man. Because a lot of motherfuckers just sitting out there and just watching. Some of these fools are even spending money going to schools and seminars, never even talking to a motivated seller, not even getting a deal on the contract. They've gone through boot camps and 3-day seminars, and they spend thousands of dollars. Never even met a motivated seller, my man. So there's no reason to feel embarrassed. See, that's what school does. School makes you want to feel embarrassed. Once you're an A, B, or C, it's like, no, man. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you're gonna have to get punched in the fucking face, and you got to get up and want to go harder. I don't know what to tell you, man. That's the truth. It's not glamorous, but you know what? It builds character, right? Because there's a difference between being a bank slave and being a free man. And trust me, I've never been a bank slave, but I bought the propaganda. You can go back to my YouTube channel. Look how fancy I used to dress, how I used to cut my hair. It was sharp. Every 7 days, I would get a haircut. I would have more clothes than a girl. No disrespect to women either. But I bought that propaganda. I came to a realization to myself that, man, this is just propaganda. This is just consumption. And there's a difference between freedom and just massive consumption. There's a difference between freedom and being in debt to a banker. There's a difference between freedom and liberty than thinking you're rich because the banker made your house look like there's a lot of equity, made your stocks look like there's a lot of equity. They made you look like and feel like you're rich. But anytime they could take it away. There's a big difference between that and being free, right? Anyways, guys, it's the best time to get into real estate, in my opinion. It's the best time to get into stocks when this thing starts crashing at 60% off. It's a great time to get in buying businesses. It's a great time to buy, you know, any kind of investments out there because there's going to be so many motivated sellers out there. You're going to have the poor, you're going to have the middle class, the working class, the upper class, the highly educated people. Attorneys, doctors, they're even going to be motivated, all the way down to government workers like school teachers, firefighters. Everyone's going to be in trouble because Wall Street and the bankers only care about themselves, and they have all these clever instruments to milk you out of your money. And guess what? You are, like everyone else, delegating your fucking financial future to some stupid company to do it for you instead of taking the responsibility on your own shoulders, building the calluses to learn from your failures and learning to be your own guide for success. You're delegating to someone else, some guy in a fucking suit, some guy that just graduated college and debt is up his ass, but he's telling you all this cool things like, man, blah, 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 and he sounds really, really smart, doesn't know shit, never owned a rental property, never started a business, never learned how to sacrifice, none of that shit, man. But that said, there's going to be millions of people hurting in America, and there's going to be a selective amount of Americans they're going to make a lot of money in this upcoming crash. It doesn't matter what industry they are in. If they're in the car business, they're in the real estate business, they're in the moving business, there's money to be made in this upcoming crash. And even though millions of people are going to be hurting, thanks to the Federal Reserve, thanks to central bankers, and definitely thanks to Trump, love his sanctions are helping you become a millionaire. His tariffs are going to help you become a millionaire. His policies to lower the interest rate and put the squeeze on the Federal Reserve is going to help you become a millionaire. Doesn't matter if you like him or dislike him. He's going to bring the pain to America for majority of people, and for some, he's going to bring tremendous wealth. Right, the 1%ers. And if you're not in that 1%, if you're hungry, you're motivated, and you're taking the right moves, you can act like the 1%ers do and make significant profits. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. If you're interested in getting into real estate, then definitely I have two programs: profit sharing coaching, where we work one on one, right, in a small group setting. We meet every Saturday. It's only $119. Go to mrnofluff.com. If you're interested in getting access to all my best-selling courses for just a low monthly fee of $67 a month, then go to academy.mrnofluff.com. This is Mike with Mr. No Fluff. Much love to you. And don't take no for an answer, man. If you want to be your dreams, remember, people are going to throw tomatoes at you, and you got to be liking it. You got to eat salads with it. Peace.